I'm Vinnie Politan. Thanks so much for joining us tonight here on Closing Arguments. Wow, big week, folks. This is a big, big week in the trial. Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. Amber Heard set to testify this week. Johnny Depp wrapping up his case, which means we're about the halfway point of this whole thing. So make sure you're locked in all week long. But this case is a civil case. We normally cover criminal trials here on Court TV, and those of you who've been watching for years, you kind of understand the flow of a criminal trial, right? Someone committed a crime. The person that the prosecution believes did it is sitting at the table over there. He's known as the defendant. They've got to prove the case against that defendant beyond any and all reasonable doubt. The jury goes back and says guilty or not guilty. And if they're found guilty, then sometimes the jury will then recommend a sentence, but usually it's the judge that will sentence the defendant. Well, in a civil case, it's sort of similar, what's going to happen, but the timing's a little bit different. In a civil case, it's not guilty or not guilty. It's whether or not the person being accused of defamation is liable or not, whether or not what they did constitutes libel. I mean, there are cross complaints here, so it gets a little more complicated because Johnny Depp is accusing Amber Heard, and Amber Heard is accusing Johnny Depp, okay? That's the first thing you have to understand about this case. And each one is accusing each other of defamation, so the jury will have to figure out, did Amber Heard defame Johnny Depp? And they've got to look at the allegations that she allegedly lied about Johnny Depp abusing her, and she's not a victim of domestic abuse at the hands of Johnny Depp. And then does that fulfill the legal requirements of defamation, which gets even more complicated. But they've got to figure out the liability, which is similar to the criminal case where we talk about guilt or guilty or not guilty, right? Liable or not liable. But then the second part, if in fact they're found liable, is you've got to figure out the damages. All right, so, because it's about money. Ultimately, it's about money for the jury, right? So what are the damages? You know, is it worth, you know, $1 million? Is it worth $1? Is it worth $50 million? Is it worth $100 million? I mean, there's a lot of leeway that this jury has in determining what the damages are if they find liability. And they'll kind of figure that all out at once. So when we get the verdict, it'll be about liable, not liable, and then the amount of the damages if they apply. So that's what's at stake here. So we've heard a lot of testimony about whether or not Johnny Depp abused Amber Heard during Johnny Depp's case because he's trying to prove that he did not abuse her. Well, today the focus shifted a little bit to, okay, we already proved that to you, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're going to prove to you how Johnny Depp has been damaged by Amber Heard. And first and foremost is the biggest role that Johnny Depp ever had. And when I say biggest, it's like the one that made him the most famous, the one that made him the most money as Captain Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean. And today, Jack Wiggum, his talent representative, testified about the impact that Amber Heard's op-ed had on Johnny Depp being able to continue to make money for the studios, which is, you know, continuing Pirates of the Caribbean to do the 6th episode or 6th movie of Pirates of the Caribbean. So let's take a listen to some of this testimony, because this is crucial, because again, a civil case is two parts: liability, and here it's all about the damages.
How, if at all, was the op-ed different from other articles you had read about the Johnny Depp-Amber Heard relationship?
It was a first-person account coming from the victim. It's extremely impactful.
Impactful in a good or bad way?
With respect to Johnny, it was catastrophic because it was coming from a first-person account. It was not from a journalist. It was not from someone observing. It was from someone saying, this happened to me.
Between December 18th, 2018, which is the date that Ms. Heard's op-ed appeared, and October 2020, to what extent, if any, did Mr. Depp perform in any studio films?
Zero. No studio films.
What happened in 2019 with respect to you're learning about Disney's plans, whether to use Mr. Depp in Pirate 6.
Objection. Here's second.
What happened? So
Yes.
I'll allow what happened. Go ahead.
It became clear they were going in a different direction.
When did you learn that Disney was going in a different direction and no longer planned to use Mr. Depp in Pirate 6?
Early 2019.
Coincidence? Well, Johnny Depp and his team saying no, it's not a coincidence. It's because of this op-ed. Let's bring in our think tank tonight. Joining us in Englewood Cliffs, New Jersey, criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor Al Wunsch III. In Stamford, Connecticut, criminal defense attorney Darnell Crosland. And in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, family law attorney Jennifer Brandt. Welcome to everyone. Al, I always say, but it's usually in a criminal context, that I don't believe in coincidences. I mean, the op-ed comes out and that's it. Pirate 6 is done. He's not getting any studio films. I mean, to me, this sounds like a pretty powerful argument that Amber Heard's op-ed caused these damages, and if it's a lie, that's a problem.
Okay, so it's his agent up there talking, okay? His agent who works on what, Vinny? A commission? Okay, so where's the Disney people? Put a Disney guy up there and say, we didn't use them because of this article. There's no Disney person there. This is his agent. This is the guy he's got to try to get him jobs. And he has a vested interest in saying—
So he's committing perjury?
Hey, Johnny?
Is that what you're saying now?
What, you never met an agent that lied to you and told you, yeah, we got big money for you, but you know, they're going another route. I mean, come on, Vin, it's happened to us all right? I mean, they we got a booking for you. Oh, they canceled. This, that, the other thing. He's an agent. His job is to lie. So get me a Disney person up there. Get somebody up there that's going to say this is a situation, and then I'll believe it. But the agent? Come on.
Yeah, Darnell,
that's loaded.
Darnell, do you hear a little bitterness in Al's voice because he lost some acting jobs when he was a child actor? And he looks like he's blaming his agent, right?
I do. I hear a little bit there. The truth of the matter is, as you stated in the opening, Vinny, it's about computation. And so we have to start to make a mathematical computation as to how much Pirate 6 would have yielded to Johnny. And when we write that number down, that's going towards damages. And then when we look at the whole time that he wasn't getting any studio action, that's computation. And listening to this trial, I did hear from someone that was at Greenberg Trogwig and also at Disney at least 30 years ago that talked about how Disney started to go cold on Johnny. So, I think we're going to have a problem here. And I was doing a deposition down in Laurel, Maryland on Friday. So I flew down to D.C. and then I couldn't help myself but to head over to Fairfax because I just wanted to feel the energy. So I drove up there to feel the energy. And it's a Deppy world up there. And I had a good time for the last Friday and Saturday, just being at Fairfax and feeling the energy. So I think we're heading towards Depp City.
Yeah, Jennifer Brandt, to me, I look at Johnny Depp's career and whatever happened in this time period from 2016 through 2018, it was the end of Johnny Depp and the blockbuster, the end of Johnny Depp being, the guy who gets these big studio films.
Absolutely, and I think he attempted to show that today, and I think his agent did a great job. And unlike Al, I mean, when someone cancels you, you believe that there's a legitimate reason. And I think this agent came in today and showed that there was a legitimate reason why they canceled him, why they didn't want to use him in Pirates. It was all about the Me Too movement. And once Disney got wind of this op-ed and Amber's claims against him, I mean, it's Disney, and they're not going to want to have anything to do with someone who is abusing or allegedly abusing their partner, their wife. So I think it came across pretty well. And who else but his agent would be available to talk about this and what happened and what he believed? They believed that there was a deal, and then all of a sudden there was no deal. So I think it made a lot of sense. I think he did a good job.
Fiddle faddle. Okay, didn't Johnny Depp testify, say that he wouldn't do another movie for Disney for $300 million and 100,000 alpacas? So doesn't that cancel out what his agent says? He said he wouldn't do the movie.
I don't think so.
He wouldn't do the movie
because
for
people make comments all
$300
the
million.
time. Al,
So
I heard you
22.5 is
say
nothing.
that if they tell you not to be, if they cancel you on Court TV, you're never appearing again. But I don't believe it because you're here every Monday night with us. So, you know, I don't believe it. I think Johnny would have done the movie. He was going to make a lot of money. This was his blockbuster. And all of a sudden, they didn't want him. So whatever he had said, I think the agent did a good job of showing why, you know, what happened, and all of a sudden he wasn't wanted anymore. He wasn't a hot commodity anymore.
And Vinnie, one important point is that one of the witnesses testified that Hollywood would forgive a drunk or drinking and drugging, but they will not forgive domestic violence, especially after the U2 movement. So
That's
that
right.
article, unlike all the other behavior, was more damaging than anything else in Hollywood. He crossed the
Nicolas
line.
Cage, Sean Penn. Okay, they
Not
didn't
at
seem to
this
get
time,
hurt too
though,
bad.
Al. Not at this time, though. This is right around the Me Too movement, Harvey Weinstein. This all happened around the same time, and they were just lumping Johnny Depp in with all the others. And so I think that's why he's doing such a great job at this trial. He had to bring this trial.
All right, I've got to jump in to help Al here. I've got to jump in to help Al. Al, let me show you. We'll show everyone at home some of the cross-examination. See if you can use some more of this ammo. Let's take a listen.
That the reason it was so catastrophic for Mr. Depp for the op-ed was because it was a first-person account of Johnny, right? Do you remember saying that?
Yes.
Okay. Wasn't it a first-person account when Ms. Heard filed for the TRO in 2016?
So that would have predated any relationship I had to Johnny, so I had no knowledge of that.
Okay, so you don't know whether it was catastrophic then?
If you're asking me my opinion on something I don't know, I can form an opinion right now. It's a court document and probably a little different than an op-ed in the Washington Post. But I would agree it's not now that I'm forming an opinion, that it's not a great headline for sure.
Now, Mr. Depp filed a lawsuit against the Sun newspaper and against Dan Wooten for this article, correct?
I believe so.
June 13, 2018. And do you recall that Mr. Depp alleged that that article had caused him serious harm to his personal and professional reputation?
Objection, hearsay calls for speculation.
I'll allow the question.
Thank you.
No, I don't recall.
Do you know whether the article that was in the UK, the ensuing lawsuit that was brought by Mr. Depp, and the ensuing trial and all the publicity, do you know whether that had any impact on Mr. Depp's career?
Objection, compound.
Okay, Al, let me ask you this, because this is where Johnny Depp's attorneys and the way they're arguing this is saying, listen, there's a difference. You know, the article in the Sun that calls him a wife beater is an article. It's a hit job. It's an article in the paper. But when Amber Heard says it, it has a much different impact on folks in Hollywood and on his reputation and his ability. Is there a difference? Because Amber Heard's people seem to be saying that, well, he was already damaged by the Sun when they called him a wife beater, and that's what did it, so you can't blame Amber Heard.
And they're right on that. I mean, you know, the bottom line is that he dug his own grave with regards to all of this. And that cross-examination was excellent with regards to what was going on. And the fact that this agent wasn't even his agent at the time when the TRO came out. And, you know, I enjoyed that. And I've been sitting here eating my wonderful
Gummy bears?
golden pineapple gummy bears.
Much,
And I just proved my entire point with that cross-examination.
Well, I don't know.
He's the one who shot himself.
I don't know, Darnell, I don't know if Al did, because this same agent who comes into the picture after 2016 believed that he had a deal for Pirates 6. So that would be after the restraining order, Darnell. I think Al's timeline is a little messed up tonight. One too many gummy bears, maybe.
I would agree, and not just that his timeline is messed up, and he's hiding these gummy bears, but he forget law school. We have this thing called the eggshell plaintiff, and that means I can't understand Amber's team is saying the son did it, so don't blame us. The eggshell plaintiff says you take your plaintiffs as you find them. So if the son started to damage him and Amber delivered the 1-2 blow that knocked him out, they're liable. You can't just say they started it, but we didn't hurt him that much. They're the ones who hurt him. So that's the eggshell plaintiff. If a person has a fracture and you come along and push them across the train rail and they fall and they fall a piece, then you're still liable. And that's what I'm seeing here.
All right, when we come back, this is the week. Amber Heard will have her opportunity to tell her story on the witness stand, but there's a lot of moving pieces in this defense. We'll talk about it when we come back. Channeling Painter at the courthouse breaking some big news on two fronts there with Amber Heard. Number one, she's not going to be the first witness in her case. All along, we've been thinking she's going to be the first witness. She's going to be the second witness. They're putting up their own psychologist first. And Amber and her team are, I guess, and I don't think this has anything to do with winning the trial, but winning the court of public opinion and what's happening on social media and in other places, which is bringing in a brand new PR team, firing the old team, bringing in a new team in the middle of the trial to try to change the flow of what's happening, and we've seen it on social media. Wow. Okay, so to me, very, very smart decision by Amber Heard's team to put their psych on before Amber Heard testifies. Because as we sit here tonight, the jury has only heard from one psychologist, Dr. Curry, who evaluated Amber Heard and came to a conclusion that would make you look at Amber Heard and listen to her testimony through a very skeptical filter that, is she telling me the truth? Let me show you one more time what Dr. Curry said about Amber Heard.
The results of Ms. Heard's evaluation supported 2 diagnoses: borderline personality disorder and histrionic personality disorder. Ms. Heard did not have PTSD, and there were also pretty significant indications that she was grossly exaggerating symptoms of PTSD when asked about them.
Okay, that's not a pretty picture, right? That could give this jury a way or a reason to look at her testimony, listen to what she's saying, and say, she's making this all up. She's making it all up. Now, the other thing they'll have to evaluate is her demeanor. And it's a he said, she said. So let's take a look now at the way Johnny Depp testifies and the way Amber Heard testified 6 years ago as they talk about the same exact incident. Let's watch.
Ms. Heard had her office at the top of the stairs. And so the stairs came down, and then there was a landing, and then another set of stairs went down the opposite direction. This took place on the landing, where she was coming out, trying to get to me, trying to hit me.
Johnny was hitting me, and he was hitting me hard and repeatedly, and I was screaming. Security walks in, and they don't do anything about it. And he makes this motion when Jerry Judge yells boss, or Sean, I can't remember who it was. And all we had was a little bit of separation, and my sister runs down the stairs. We're on a landing in between 2 flights of stairs.
And then Whitney, her sister, was there who stepped in the way. And interesting thing that was interesting now is that Whitney stepped in front of Amber and was facing Amber to stop Amber.
He was about to push my sister down the stairs. She was attempting to break us up. I am protective over my baby sister. When he laid hands on her, I don't know what I did, but I know I jumped in between the actions that I saw could lead to a fatal injury to my sister. She was standing on the top of a flight of the stairs, and she has never hurt anyone in her life, and she does not deserve to be pushed down the flight of stairs.
And when she was in between us, Amber snuck in she got the roundhouse in and just nailed me on the cheekbone.
And I would have done what anybody who has a child or a sister would have done. I acted defensively in her life. I saw her standing on top of a flight of stairs and trying to interrupt a fight in between him and I. I don't know what part of my body I put in between me and him and her. But I would have done anything. I would have done anything to prevent her from being pushed down a flight of stairs.
Let's bring back in our think tank. This is a big, big week in this case coming up. Darnell, Crosland, your thoughts. Which witness would you rather have in your case telling the story, Johnny Depp or Amber Heard?
Johnny Depp all day long. I think that the fact that he's calm, collected, he expresses himself, he sounds believable. Amber Heard, when you look at those two screens, is really trying too much, trying too hard. She's acting and she's trying to be avenger for the world. And it doesn't even add up when she says get between herself, Johnny, and her sister. And all of a sudden now she's trying to protect her sister when a second ago, Johnny was punching her so much and so hard and wouldn't stop. It didn't make any sense to me. So I definitely go with Johnny.
Jennifer Brandt, your thoughts about, I mean, so he said, she said, this is the ultimate he said, she said. A lot of other witnesses, we get it, but she's going to be up on the stand for several days. Whose presentation? And again, that's 6 years ago for her. Maybe she's different. Yeah. She looks a little different now. She may be a different person. I don't know. We'll see. But what are your thoughts?
Just watching it, it seems like I'm watching a movie, to be honest with you. Vinnie, because they're both they're both really good actors. So it's really hard to believe either one of them in terms of the truth of the matter. I agree with Darnell. I mean, Amber just did not make any sense, and she was just over dramatic. I am really interested in seeing how she presents herself now. She sits in the courtroom. She seems very calm. She seems very together. And we'll see if that's the persona that she brings tomorrow or Wednesday or whenever she starts her testimony, if she's calm and collected. Johnny is a bit exaggerated, the way he pauses and tells his story. You know, you almost feel like you're watching a movie a little bit. He's more believable, but again, they're both excellent actors.
Al, let's have a fantasy witness draft, right? You got to draft one or the other to tell the story. You want to convince the jury. Who are you taking?
Well, you know, I got to tell you, Vin, this is like the physician desk reference should be watching this trial and take this down, because you have him, Johnny Depp, is got classic narcissistic personality disorder. She is demonstrating classic histrionic personality disorder. So you have NPD plus HPD equals CBD. Can't be done. Neither one of them is going to win this trial. Jury's going to be PO'd at both of them and is going to walk right out. They cancel themselves out. He's a definite narcissist. She is histrionic, and they testified. It's unbelievable how clinically they testify in this trial, or when she testified originally 6 years ago. We'll see what she does now, but I can't imagine it's going to be that much different. I mean, their non-certified psychologist hit the nail right on the head with regards to histrionic personality disorder. And I'm sure that their doctor is going to say that he's got narcissistic personality disorder. And if you read those in the physician desk reference book, you'll see these are two right on point.
And you'll have time to do that because we're going to take a break right now. So you can pick up your PDR and look up all the other letters that Al was talking about. Great job by everybody. All right, stand by. Think Tank staying with us when we come back.
Did you ever tell any officers at your house on May 21, 2016 that Johnny Depp had ever done anything wrong to you, that night or before?
You're asking me if I've told them?
If you told them on May 21, yes.
Again, I said to them, I decline to give any statement at this time as per the advice of my counsel. They did make a comment to me about it seeming unsafe. That's why they needed to check the apartment. They made a gesture to my face. They said that I looked hurt. They also pulled me aside and said, look, just say a statement. We can make sure you're safe. Just say a statement or give us a statement and we'll go get the guy. And they said the exact same thing to Josh.
Is it your testimony that a police officer on May 21 told you that it appeared you looked hurt?
He or she gestured, I can't remember which one, to my face and said, we can tell you've been hurt or you don't look good or something to that effect, but I don't remember the exact words they used.
But something to that effect?
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't exactly what they testified to at the trial, but we'll see. She's going to testify, Amber Heard, this week. And I posted on social media because, I mean, her team is in crisis management right now and hired a brand new PR team to come in the middle of the trial because of what is happening in the court of public opinion. With court TV cameras and microphones inside the courtroom, unlike in the UK, where everything people learned about the trial was filtered through reporters, you're getting to see and hear the evidence firsthand yourselves now. And it seems like people are making up their minds so far, based on Johnny Depp's case, that Johnny Depp has a good case. That's what we're hearing. So my question to you was, is there anything that Amber Heard can say on the stand that would change your mind? We begin with our 13th juror comment of the day, and it comes from Lucy, who says there's absolutely nothing she can say to change my mind, unless there is a clear video of Johnny hitting her, a video of a phone being jostled around, and Amber accusing Johnny of hitting her on the video does not do it for me. That's just a self-serving setup. Jennifer Brandt, you know, all of these audio recordings and videos that she's making, Johnny says he didn't know that the recorder was on, but she did. Do you think that could be perceived by the jury as she was trying to set him up?
Absolutely, and especially after hearing him testify that he didn't know about it, and all the confusion about the times that she hit him, threw things at him, did things to him, taunted him. I just think it makes it so much more difficult for her to come in and portray herself as an abused woman, especially if she acts like she did on the video. I just don't think she was credible at all during those videos that you showed from her prior testimony. So it's a good thing that she hired a new PR team, because maybe they can get her ready for her testimony, calm her down, have her seem like she's thinking about the questions, that she's answering the questions in front of her, and that she's laying out this story in an organized fashion. I think she's going to need to do that to change anybody's opinion about her, about what went on.
All right, Trina, tonight, if she can provide clear evidence of Depp physically abusing her, she could change opinions on Depp and his innocence, but there's nothing that she can provide at this point that takes away from the proof we've already seen that she herself was physically abusive and an aggressor in the relationship. No matter what happens from this point forward, she can't walk away with an untarnished reputation. Darnell, what does the jury do with that if they believe that she abused him?
I've been saying all along, I think that's Johnny's win, and I agree with Trina 100%. Criminal cases and civil cases, the same. She's in a position of a defendant, not a plaintiff, even though she has counterclaims. Her position here has to be, I didn't do it, or I did it because. And based on what we're seeing here, none of that's going to help her change her personal reputation as being exaggerating, as personality disorder. All the stuff that came out can't help her at all.
Joe tonight, I think Joe's been hanging out with Al. No, they both bullied each other. So if I was the judge, I would send both packing with nothing. Al, were you hanging out with Joe before the show?
Al. I think that was Al.
That's actually my stage name is Joe. I wrote that myself. I'm sorry. I confess on that, Vinny. I apologize. No, that's, you know what? I'm telling you. I did the equation. Okay, once again, HPD plus NPD equals CBD. Can't be done. There's nothing that's going to happen in this case that is going to give anything except more sullied and tarnished reputations for the two of them, okay? But in any prize fight, Ben, as you know, you wait till the fight is over and the last person standing is the winner, okay? You can't judge it. I mean, this happens all the times in trials. I mean, look at any, situation. They put their best foot forward. Now it's her turn.
All right.
She's going to have the opportunity to get up there, and she's going to have an opportunity to dazzle and bedazzle, and we'll see where it goes. And the prize fight is who's going to be the last person standing.
All right, last comment tonight comes from Paul. See, I just cut him off. Look at that. Magical. Johnny Depp has always worn heavy, chunky rings. Surely if he punched her, as she states, her face would be a complete mess. Pauline, interesting comment, and I think a lot of people have been saying and thinking that. We're out of time, but what great insight tonight. Al Wunsch III, Darnell, Crosland, Jennifer Brandt, thank you so much. We'll see you again soon. All right, folks, when we come back, we're not done. I need your help. Don't go away.